last few days before I leave prison, I just want to stay there. I wish that my time was longer because I get so scared. I was out for 4 months thinking it was going to be different this time. And then I got sent back to jail for another 2-year sentence. And I just got sick of it. I got sick of building up this empire of money and drugs and respect and power, going to jail, losing it all, and having to start all over again. I got so sick and tired of not having anything that I could call mine.
They have got one set of gates that opens up and it's wrapped in razor wire, and then another one. And this one's closing behind me and this one's opening. So I felt bombarded by emotion, like happy, oh my God, here's my freedom. Like I've been waiting for this. And then sadness, leaving a bunch of stuff behind that had become really familiar to me.
I was homeless when I came out of jail. I had no place to go, so I just, bumped around from couch surfing, paid people to stay at their place. I'd go take over people's places. I didn't get raised properly. I didn't have those teachings growing up or anything. Like, I was just stray. I was good at selling drugs. I've been doing it since I was like 14, 15. My dad taught me how to do it, actually. It's because he seen me going in a direction where I was going to hang around with some working girls and end up going out on the street and selling myself, probably. He seen me going down that route, so he taught me how to sell dope. And I took over his house. And the next door cracked 3 houses by the time I was 13.
My dad used to call me his little Philadelphia lawyer, and that's just something I always wanted to do. And I feel like that dream got crushed the first time I went to jail. My dad passed away. He had a logging accident. I was living in Victoria at that time, finishing off my high school. And 7 weeks later, my mom passed away on Christmas Day from breast cancer.
One of the things that would stand out for me the most in my childhood would be the absence of my mom and dad. Like, my mom would be busy working all the time, or maybe hungover or too busy for me, and my dad would be in and out of prison. So I remember praying really hard, I'll be a really good girl if dad can come home.
The very first time I ended up in jail was when I was 12, as soon as I was old enough to go to jail. I did an armed robbery with a whole bunch of my friends because of a double dare to A&W with a 22 shotgun, and ended up getting sentenced to 18 months.
The jail's way of dealing with problematic offenders like I was to throw you on pills. After being on those pills, I gained about 80 pounds in a matter of 8 months. I was drooling. I didn't know my left foot from my right foot. I had no comprehension of what was going on most of the time. When you leave prison, they don't give you the prescription that you were on in jail. What replaces those prescription pills are the drugs. You are so used to having some form of a mood-altering substance that you replace one for another. You're released with a $275 welfare check. I really don't think anybody's going to spend any of that $275 on prescription pills.
Boom. First thing I wanted to do was get high, but my intention was to stay clean when I got out. And then as soon as I seen somebody using, it's like, yeah, party.
When I use drugs, I don't have a conscience, and it speeds up your brain processes, right? And your brain thinks differently. And when I was on it, I was able to come up with crazy ways of making more money. 3 piles, maybe 3-4 feet high, of laptops just sitting on my floor.
I'm not one of those people who can just sell it and make money. I wish I was. Believe me, I've tried. It doesn't work that way. It's in my grimy little hands. I'm using it.
started using, so I didn't make nothing. I was pushing it for other people. I still made money, but I wasn't going in my pocket.
And so the cycle starts. Addiction leads to crime, leads to jail, leads back to addiction.
When you're in there and you think you have all these friends on the street because you've got a big bag of dope, and you go to jail and nobody cares where you are or what you're doing, nobody writes you, nobody answers your phone calls, you feel alone. Most women that have been to prison have no idea how to open up a bank account, how to pay their bills, can't get a phone in their own name, they've screwed their own credit.
I've gotten out of prison before thinking, you know, they tell you you can go on welfare for a month until you get on your feet and get a place, but they've always told me, come back in 2 months. Well, I don't need food, shelter, clothing, housing in 2 months. I need it now. So that is usually a high-risk situation for me to sell crystal meth again.
Do whatever you can to find a place, like a recovery house, if you want to stay clean before you leave. Try to get it set up before you leave so you have a bed. Otherwise, you're going to end up back out on the street doing the same thing and end up back in jail.
Since I got out of prison and moved down here, I have found it very difficult to find a healthcare provider. I guess there is some of that fear around telling a doctor that, you know, I was an addict. But harder than that, it's hard to even find a doctor.
They wanted me to work behind the counter as like a office help. So I did all their little tests, and then they asked about a criminal record, and I was honest. I said, I have a criminal record. Yes, you're perfect for this. We need you, you know, criminal record, it doesn't matter. I think maybe they thought I would have like a parking ticket or something. Well, I bring in the record and they never called me again.
So you can either lie, which I don't like doing, or you can tell the truth and be judged and probably not get the job.
It's brutal for me to know that anybody with a computer can go online, plug in my first name, my last name, and every court date, every court appearance, every charge, absolutely everything comes up.
You have to get your foot in the door by doing volunteer work or something.
Have you done volunteer work?
No, but I have to start.
Some of the friendships that I started in jail, I carry on today, but those are only the ones with the women who are trying to make positive changes in their life.
Actually, a couple who are in the program who were, you know, had gone to treatment, lived in a recovery house, and who had these great lives, I get to keep them as my friends. And so that's really cool.
I had a slip, so it's another month again, because I went out for one night. I almost lost Alexis, and almost got cut off of my son Tyson. But I hopped back on board. The first time around, I wasn't really connecting with other people in recovery. But this time, I got a tight grip on it, and I've been doing every suggestion that's given to me and to keep my sobriety, and it's been working.
Paying my taxes, as stupid as that may sound to somebody else, when I got clean almost 3 years ago, I did my taxes for the first time. I'd never done that before.